Now, let's get on to the biggest issue in this country, Gemma, and that, of course, as you know, is the cost of living. And this survey out today showing that nearly 2/3 of the country believe the country's not heading in the wrong direction. That's a very, very bad omen for the Albanese government. But it shows just how much the cost of living is biting.
It's not a surprise to anyone who's in the real world. I think the only people who are likely surprised by this, Chris, are those who live in various bubbles, be they political or media bubbles. It is a constant source of conversation for people in my world, which I consider to be certainly not on the bones of our asses, Chris, but an average world where when the Reserve Bank held fire last week, everybody breathed out a little bit, everybody's watching their pennies and commenting on the impact of inflation every time you go to the shops. I mean, I wrote about this to some degree in my weekend column for The Australian about the fact that I don't know that the federal government has yet worked out that, it didn't race into power on a 50% primary. It's there at the behest of the Greens, really, if we're going to be honest about it. They haven't worked out that this is on their watch. Chris Bowen's clip that you just played, I mean, that's just extraordinary. Is he on the real planet with the rest of us?
Yes, honestly. There's nobody in this country who's not being hit by higher electricity prices. This is what gets me, Ali, and it's not just the government. I think the opposition are playing into this too. They're not really talking about cost of living issues day in, day out. We're talking about The Voice and we're talking about some of these other issues we're going to be covering tonight, but they're not actually coming up with ideas either side to address the cost of living.
No, and everybody that I talk to, that is the first thing that comes out of their mouths, either meeting that mortgage repayment that they're still trying to catch up on, that electricity bill that's coming, 20% more, or even the fact that we're paying $2 extra, $2.50 extra for a big box of cereal. We were fortunate enough to give away $50,000 on our radio station, and we have never had more people call, and every time I spoke to a person, I'd say, what would you spend the money on? And it was paying bills or getting myself into my first home or a home. That was it. No fancy European holidays, no splurging on fun things to do. It is about just keeping people in the black and moving forward.
Yeah, it's only going to get worse in the future.